What a great tune that was. That was Tonight Tonight by Hot Shell Ray. An interesting name that is. And speaking of tonight, what are you doing tonight? Thursday night, April 19th, in the Sarnia, Lambton, Point Edward area. Oh, I know. Bottoms Up. You need to pop by Bottoms Up. You know, during the week, it's so hard to find something to do. Something that's, you know, a lot of fun, but has no cover charge, but has good people, but no drama. And, you know, just being in good energy. We talk about good energy all the time. And that's what you want to do. You want to surround yourself by people that have good energy. Well, the good energy hotspot in this area, for sure, is Bottoms Up in beautiful Point Edward, Ontario. So, you know, quite often we get, you know, we're hamsters on the wheel ourselves, right? We live to work and work to live and do all this stuff, and we get into this routine. But quite often we don't do the things that make our heart hum, or get out with those good people that lift us up and feel good, that don't care where you work, what you do, all that stuff. They share a passion, and the passion, my friends, is music. So Wednesdays and Thursday nights until summer, so we just have a little time left here till the end of May, beginning of June. You need to come out and check out Bottoms Up. On a Wednesday night, it's an open jam with a full stage. Come on out. Whether you have an instrument or you don't, that's fine. You can. I don't have an instrument. I like to come out and just participate. You know, I could just come and actually close my eyes and just feel the great vibrations from the music. You know, so people come, just regular people like you and I. They bring their instruments. They get up on the stage, they have a good time, they do a couple songs each. If you want to play, you just get your name on the list. And then Thursdays is interesting too, and it's more of a hometown feel where people actually sit at their chairs at the tables. It's a fully licensed facility. You can come in, you can order a beer if you're over 19, of course. You know, mature drinkers only. It's a mature atmosphere, you know, no drama, nobody's looking at your girlfriend. It is a nice, awesome place to come and just chill out, have a beer, have a good time, meet some like-minded people, and, you know, have a jam. That's what it's all about. So, you know, that's what we need. We need more places like that. We can see our environment is changing. And it's not just Sarnia. It's all around, you know. Drinking has changed. People like going out earlier. They don't like being out all night. People are realizing they don't need to get hammered. They can go and just have a couple drinks, a good time, some laughs, some good energy, and go home, and the next week repeat. So these are the kind of things you want to get involved in, and Bottoms Up is your hot spot. So definitely mark that on your calendar. Make a mental note to get out. And being that tonight is Thursday night, why don't you come on out tonight? Check it out. Have a good time. You'll make it to work tomorrow. You're going to be fine. It's going to be a fun night. And speaking of fun, I got the good news ready for you now. So many good things going on in the world. And honestly, I don't watch mass media news, whatever you want to call it. So I have no idea if this is headline news or not. Because when I watch anything that is mass media news, it makes me want to punch my own face in. Because it is so negative. And no wonder. Our biggest demographic, do you realize this in Canada and the States? The biggest demographic right now is people on disability. What does that tell you? Hey, that tells you we need to make some changes, that there's some negative stuff going on. That's the stuff that people share, and unfortunately, that's the stuff that sells, but not here, my friends. Not on Positive Power. Good news only. So, I got a weird story today, too, though. Good news and weird news. You know, just because people are trying solutions doesn't mean that we have to go for it, and that it's necessarily great. And you'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute. But first of all, this is a good story. Costa Coffee, the UK's largest Java retailer, is pledging to recycle 500 million single-use cups per year by 2020, which is right around the corner, I don't mind telling you. The initiative will make Costa Coffee the first ever coffee chain in the UK to commit to recycling the same volume of cups it puts onto the market, which will amount to roughly 1/5 of the 2.5 billion takeaway coffee cups consumed as a nation each year. That's just in the UK. Imagine what Canada and the States is. Costa Coffee is going to achieve the ambitious goal by paying waste management companies to collect all the disposable coffee cups destined for the landfill and transport them to paper mills that can recycle the cups. Though there are already 3 paper mills in the UK that are equipped to recycle paper, it has never been economically viable for the waste management companies to send them the cups. This means that all the paper products that could have been processed and reused either end up being incinerated or sent to a landfill. Costa plans on addressing this issue by simply paying the waste companies an additional $106, which is equivalent to 75 pounds, per ton of recycled paper cups, which is 140% more than what they're paid already. The company has already partnered with 5 waste companies that collectively manage a large majority of UK public spaces, including hospitals, universities, and transport hubs. The main issue is that effectively the price per ton to the waste management companies receive for cups has meant it hasn't been economic for them to take the cups to the paper mills. There hasn't been enough profit in it for them, Costa Managing Director Dominic Paul told The Independent. We realized that was actually the hurdle we had to overcome if we were going to cut through this, and as the market leader, we felt we should. All the consumer will have to do is throw their cup into a recycling bin. Costa is putting its money where its mouth is to find an immediate solution to increasing the volume of takeaway coffee cups being recycled in the UK. It also dispels the myth that coffee cups can't be recycled, said Paul. Following today's announcement, up to 1 million cups will be recycled this year alone, and if the nation's other coffee chains sign up, there is no reason why all takeaway cups could not be recycled as early as 2020. Very good. See, we have to be proactive. This is the world we live in. People are going to use the cups. They're always going to go through the drive-thrus. It's like, I see these people post on Facebook different comments about, oh, the superstore put in scan yourself tellers, whatever the heck you call them. Don't use them, don't use them, don't use them. If you use them, you hate humanity, or I don't know, something. And so my challenge is to them that, I have a few different challenges to them, but one is, if you're really going to, push that people shouldn't use those, I hope you don't use drive-through bank tellers. I hope that you don't go through a drive-through at a restaurant. I hope that you have this thing and you apply it to absolutely everything, because that's the way it needs to be. Because, there's 2 different reasons that they want you to go and stand in line. The one thing is it's really the big thing, is they want you to do that impulsive shopping, right? When you're in line and you're corralled in there with the chocolate bars and the magazines, that's what they want you to do, right? It's retailing 101. So you're avoiding that. And if you think, this is just my thoughts, if you think that they're going to bring more tellers up because you're standing in line shopping while you're in line, you're under an illusion. They're not going to. No extra person is going to get a job because I am using or not using those automatic tellers or whatever the heck you call them. Just my thoughts. I just wanted to share that because I think people get on these little parades and they're not looking at the big picture. They're not looking at the whole thing. And you know why? Because it's a lot easier to complain. That's why. Just my thoughts. Talk about a side rant there. Anyways, more good news. The leaders of North and South Korea may finally put an end to the conflict that's been affecting the 2 nations for the last 68 years. At the end of the Korean War in 1954, my father was in that war. Isn't that something? South and North Korean officials signed a truce. Though it put an end to the violence between Pyeongchang and Seoul, they never actually agreed to sign a peace treaty. The countries came closing to ending the war in 2007 during the Sunshine Policy peace talks, but it was not to be. In addition to North Korea resisting international inspections of their nuclear facilities, South Korea elected a new president in 2008 who abandoned the negotiations. But now, according to a report published by the South Korean newspaper Manhwa Ilbo, An unnamed Seoul official says that the two nations will be announcing their intention of ending the decades-long war during a leaders' summit later this month, which is the third ever meeting between North and South leaders in history. If the countries successfully end the war, it could also spell the end of the demilitarized zone on the Korean border. The 2.5-mile stretch of land could return to its original state, and all troops and other weapons could be pulled back from both sides. That's very cool. The negotiations could also pave the way for a meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un in May or June, which would make history as the first ever sitting between an American president and a North Korean leader. So, there you go, right? Unity is the solution to so many of our problems. And so that's good that people are coming together. So I have to say, my next story is probably the weirdest one I've ever shared. And, well, you can have your own opinion on it, whatever you think. Tortilla chips made from insects. Now there's a concept. You may be surprised to learn that this snack actually does exist thanks to Rose Wang, CEO and co-founder of, are you ready for this? Chirps Chips. Chirps Chips exists to normalize eating insects. So that, Steve, if you're listening, this might be something to think about. Chirps Chips exists to normalize eating insects so that society can envision a sustainable food system where insects are grown in urban areas and fed on food waste. Unlike factory farming, insects can be raised humanely in cities without antibiotics and growth hormones. Chirps Chips uses crickets milled into a flour to make high-protein tortilla chips. And they're delicious, so the article says, with 3 times more protein and 40% less fat than a regular chip. The goal? To substitute animal protein with insect protein, which will in turn reduce land and water usage and greenhouse emissions. During her senior year of college, Rose was dared to eat a fried scorpion while studying abroad in China. Although terrified, she took on the challenge and was pleasantly surprised. The bug tasted like shrimp. Her fears quickly disappeared, and she started to wonder why people were eating bugs in other parts of the world, but not in the U.S. In fact, around 2 billion people already eat bugs as part of their diet. Rose became infatuated by the subject. Upon further research, she discovered that the livestock industry contributed to more greenhouse gas emissions than all forms of transportation combined. Insects, on the other hand, are one of the most sustainable protein sources available and could be the key to reducing the food system's impact on climate change. Rose and her college roommate Laura De Serio began experimenting with crickets that they bought from a local pet shop and co-founded the startup venture soon after. When the business was first getting off the ground, everyone called them crazy, believing there was no way a company working to rebuild the food system with insect protein could thrive. Rose and Laura had to call 400 manufacturers to try and sell their product, and received 399 no's before they got one yes. Now, Chirps Chips is backed by Mark Cuban after winning a deal on Shark Tank, and the snack is being sold on thousands of store shelves across the nation in flavors like barbecue and cheddar. In addition to being a Shark Tank survivor, Rose is a Forbes 30 Under 30 social entrepreneur, LUSA Impact Award winner, Echoing Green Climate Fellow, Mass Challenge Gold winner, holy moly, Harvard Dean's Design Challenge winner, and TED Talk speaker. Wow. Chirps Chips manufactures the first of what Rose and Laura hope will be a long line of bug-based snacks. We would like to have all sorts of insects and brands under our company. Our planet and resources are important, and we're going to keep fighting no matter what, says Rose. So that is really super interesting. I honestly don't know what I think of that. Would I try it? Yeah, probably. I've never met a chip I didn't like. So I would probably try that and go from there. I do know that cows are the worst polluters. And that's why, when you watch different documentaries like that Leo DiCaprio that's on Netflix right now. Before the Flood or something it's called. They talk about if you want to help climate change, it's as easy as choosing chicken instead of choosing beef, right? So now instead of choosing chicken or beef, because we know they're both factory farmed in a horrible way, now you can choose insects. Or go to a local butcher so you know how the animals are. I don't know. I think I'm going to keep going back to that, but I would probably try that chip. So there you go. There's your good news for today. Lots of good stuff going on in the world. And you know what? We are the change, my friends. So whatever it is you want to see in the world, very important that, you start looking for solutions. Maybe you're the one. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're the one that's going to come up with the idea, come up with the concept, and be the one that makes a difference. Isn't that exciting to think we all have the power to make the change that's needed in the world? So there you go, friends. That's the good news for today. All of those articles will be posted on the Positive Power Facebook page for you to check out at your convenience.